In the fast-paced world of competitive Smite, where every click and every strategy can make or break dreams, one team defied all odds to etch their name in history. Meet the Jade Dragons, a team that emerged from the shadows, hungry for victory. They faced adversity, doubted by many, but they held on to their passion and belief in each other at the Smite World Championship, live from Arlington, Texas. As they entered the grand arena, the world watched with anticipation. Nika, Lasbra, Polar Bear Mike, Dardez and Vaporish Coast faced giants, renowned teams in the SPL with formidable reputations. But this team was armed with skill, strategy and an unyielding spirit, ready to rewrite the narrative.
Jade Dragons,
the first to challenge the Dragons was none other than the Highland Ravens, fresh and ready for anything off the back of a thrilling World Championship group stage victory. For Venenu and his team, it was an uphill battle taking on the Dragons. Although Scream was having a fantastic game, collecting Jade Dragon heads, it wasn't enough to dismantle their opponent's defences. All but Hi-Rez fell in Highland Raven's attempt to take down the right side Phoenix Tower. The Highland Ravens had the Fire Giant buff, the gold lead and the momentum. But at that critical point in Game 1, they fell over hard and opened up the door to their own Titan.
I don't think so.
We're gonna see at least defense on the top side for Lasbra and 4 commit for the Jade Dragons on the push. Hurry went in the lurk in the waters, gets some damage, but he's not gonna get enough. Dardez stuns him out, and the Jade Dragons will take game number 1.
The war-torn back and forth saw the Dragons secure their first game in Arlington. A solid start in the best-of-3 set. Dardez took Merlin into the mid, while Lasbra secured the jungle with Lancelot. The Jade Dragons were looking to close their series out in the second match. It was a low-scoring head-to-head, but approaching the 35-minute mark, Haddix and Scream fell to the onslaught of the Dragons. With 2 down, the Highland Ravens' defence was thinned out. As the Titan hit the deck, one team moved on to the semi-finals, one bowed out of the World Championship. It was a different story at the beginning of the semi-final showdown, as the Jade Dragons drew swords and boards with SPL favourites, the Styx Ferrymen. Paul and his strong 5-man force, who are no strangers to World Championship success, also secured a 2-0 win in the quarterfinals. This best-of-5 fight for a seat in the grand final could have gone either way.
We've seen Lasbra sometimes.
In a lengthy game just shy of an hour, the Ferrymen launched an assault on the Dragons, losing 3 members, but nuking down the Titan as they sent out a message to the screaming crowd.
Try and make it happen here, and now the Titan taking its damage, but it's going to be a massive skirmish, and Lasbra, it's the Dragons right now who are coming up big, but they're not able to do it. They find 3, but they lose the game 56 minutes in, and the Ferrymen finally close it out.
Things were steady in the second game for the Jade Dragons until their confidence got the better of them. All but Nika fell on the battlefield in the Dragons' attempt of powering down an early Titan. A singular Sun Wukong didn't stand a chance against the might of the Styx Ferrymen, who are now 1 win away from a seat in the 2024 Smite World Championship Grand Final. The odds were truly against them. The Dragons had the monumental task of securing 3 games with minimal mistakes in order to overthrow a team full of MOBA gods. Knee-deep into Game 3, Aurora and Baskin fell at the 40-minute mark. The Jade Dragons locked in the Fire Giant buff despite minions pushing in on the left side of their own base. A deicide was enough to end the duel of the Titans in the solo lane, then slice through the final objective to finally put a point on the board. Things got hot and heavy in the fourth matchup as the Styx Ferrymen rapidly lost control. Fruitful in health bars and the gold lead, Dardes and the crew slammed through the enemy Titan almost unchallenged. 29 minutes is all it took to level the semi-final scores and push a Game 5 tiebreaker. The combined efforts of Lasbra and Dardes opened up the team fights in the fifth game with the perfect execution of Sino in the mid lane. Even under contention, the Jade Dragons committed to the Fire Giant, claiming the lives of Baskin and Paul in the onslaught. The team in red had the gold and experience lead the whole way through. They were winning fights all over the map, including the brawl for the game's final Fire Giant, where Paul, Aurora and Baskin met their match. A broken down defense is all they needed to complete their reverse sweep and cement themselves in the SPL Season X World Finals.
The Jade Dragons have done it! They've done everything they needed and they're gonna go to the World Finals!
Nika, how have you done it, you absolute madman? Dominance from the solo lane, takes it into the Titan room, 10% HP is all he needs, and he does it all!
Their patience, skill and teamwork were tested. And through it all, they proved they were a cut above the rest.
They're telling you what they wanted!
However, one final obstacle stood between them and the prestigious Smite World title. The team's determination and focus got them over the line in the semi-finals. But that was just a pre-show for what was about to transpire. Solo or Troll, Pagon, Netrioid, Genetics and Panatom, who make up the honourable Oni Warriors, went completely undefeated on their path to the Smite World Championship Grand Final. And we're not going to let anyone rain on their parade. That was until Vaporish Coast rotated into the solo lane to land first blood. Solo or Troll hit the deck while Lasbra barely escaped with his life. It was a quiet game of farming until a fight broke out at the Fire Giants 20 minutes in. Even trades were being made as tension rose in the arena. With their mid laner down, the Oni Warriors couldn't bring the heat to the 44-minute Fire Giant.
And the turnaround, yeah, you lose your jungler, but you're killing them one by one. Get the job done, Netroid. Nowhere to run, and the Dragons get a DSI. They're gonna run down right and get this Phoenix and look for this game.
Smashing through the Phoenix and straight into the Titan room, the Jade Dragons made their stand in the Grand Final. Continuing that same winning momentum in the second game, Dardes opted for Tiamat in the mid lane, while Lasbra unleashed havoc with Maman Brigitte in the jungle. The Oni Warriors created a considerable lead, catching out several Dragon players during the course of the early game. However, the gold lead continued to stay in the Dragons' favour. Nika found multiple kills at the 20-minute mark, wiping the entire Oni Warriors team off the board to further increase their advantage. The Phoenix Towers became the main targets. Lane minions would begin to pour into the Oni Warriors base, forcing them to play defensively. While the majority of the Jade Dragons were pressuring the right side of the Oni Warriors base, Nika went for the ultimate power play, diving behind enemy lines to catch the team in blue completely off guard.
Onto the carry, but now he's too far back. Mike separating everybody. Nika is on the Titan, needs a little bit of help. He's got the fire minions. He's got some damage. Can they stop the Warriors right here? And right now they're going to do what they can. They've got more minions than you need. A few more autos, but the Dragons do it, and they're up 2-0.
One more win is all the Jade Dragons needed to cement themselves in the Smite Pro League history books. For the Oni Warriors, their quest for the World Championship hung in the balance as they faced an adversary with an ironclad reputation. Staring down a daunting 0-2 deficit, something came alive for the Warriors. Jungle camps and laneways were farmed efficiently, and team fights consistently ended in their favour. With sheer determination burning in their eyes, the Oni Warriors unleashed a torrent of unparalleled skill and strategic brilliance. In a breathtaking turn of events, they secured speedy back-to-back victories in the third and fourth games, igniting the flame of hope in the heart of their fans. If they weren't already before, the Jade Dragons were now feeling immense pressure in front of the Arlington crowd. No mistakes could be made as Hachiman, Osiris, Atlas, Pele and the game-winning Merlin were chosen to close out the World Championship. 5 minutes is all it took before Genetics and Pagon felt the fury of the Jade Dragons army. Towers, Pyromancers, Gold and Oni Furies were being rotated upon with precision, consistently keeping the Dragons' gold tally ahead of their opponents. The game's first fire giant was locked in by the Dragons, resulting in 3 towers and 4 Oni Warrior heads. With the help of their Titan, Nika and his crew were able to push in the mid and right side laneways to power down 2 Phoenix towers, setting themselves up for the final assault. Imbued with their third and final fire giant buff, Vaporish Coast snapped up 2 in the final moments of the SWC. These deaths were crucial for the seconds that followed. At the 32.5-minute mark, the final battle for the Smite World Championship began.
They're gonna play it slow and go in for the end call, where that Titan needs to drop.
Fire minions on right. The Jade Dragons on the precipice of a championship, and they're gonna do it! They're gonna walk forward and break the curse and win a championship!
The crowd erupted in celebration as the Jade Dragons, who were yet to win a major split, let alone the World Championship, sprung out of their chairs to take in the moment. This was more than a victory. This was a story of resilience, of defying expectations, and showing the world moments like this will echo through the halls of Smite Esports for generations to come.
Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to keep up to date with the amazing esport content from around the gaming globe. Only on Unbeaten Esports.